Does anybody remember Ape Escape? Now, some people think I have an unhealthy obsession with this franchise, but I think you have an unhealthy obsession with oxygen. Released in 1999, the first Ape Escape was revolutionary on how we used analog sticks. The DualShock controller was becoming the norm for gamers back in the late 90s, so Sony saw this as an opportunity to make a game that really utilized the functionalities of the analog sticks. Now, me personally, I've never been a massive fan of the first Ape Escape game, just because I'm not really a fan of the PS1, N64, Sega Saturn era of gaming, because it was a bit of a transitional period, and I think that out of all the eras of gaming besides like first gen, I guess that gen is a little hard to go back to, but I still appreciate the nostalgia for it and whatever, and I think a lot of those games are some of the best games of all time. Just not really my cup of tea per se. So, you know, I kind of avoided Ape Escape 1, even though I grew up with Ape Escape 2 and 3 pretty much my whole life. But when I did finally get Ape Escape 1 back in like 2015, when I first started to kind of collect, I quickly developed a huge soft spot for this game that, you know, the franchise I grew up with, but never really got to dive any deeper than just 2 and 3. But what made Ape Escape so fun? I mean, nothing really special. Nothing really special. Ape Escape was kind of just like a fun little franchise that didn't really take too much mental gymnastics to really play. You could pick it up, play it, figure it out in like a few minutes or so. You get the general gist of it. There were actually a lot of guides within the game itself that made learning how to use those tools that the game gave you, it made learning those things fun. And I think out of all the games ever,
Ape Escape is the best one.
No, but seriously, out of all of the games that I have ever played, Ape Escape 3 is still to this day my favorite game of all time. Eventually, they did actually port the first Ape Escape onto the PSP, and I don't prefer this one, but a lot of people do just because the analog thing, the joystick, is that what it's called? I don't even remember now. Fake gamer exposed. I'm just going to call it a joystick. They really liked the joystick on the PSP, and they thought that it was like a better, I don't know, analog stick compared to the DualShock controller, the first one at least. Okay. I don't agree, but, you know, to each their own. It did also get a few spin-offs, stuff like Ape Escape Pumped and Primed, which not great. Or stuff like Ape Escape Academy on the PSP, which, you know, whatever. Those games aren't bad. I just don't think they're anywhere near as good as the mainline trilogy of Ape Escape 1, 2, and 3, especially 2. Now, I did say Ape Escape 3 is my favorite game of all time, but Ape Escape 2, I think it might be better because there were still all the original characters in Ape Escape 2, Spike and the Professor and whatever her name was. I don't remember her name. They kind of kept like the general storyline of the first Ape Escape. Ape Escape 2 really took what made Ape Escape 1 great and just made it better. Ape Escape 3, everything is different. Different characters, different weapons, different monkey, an entirely new villain. They kept Spectre, but I mean, Dr. Tomoki was like really the main focus of the storyline. It wasn't the same as 1 and 2 where Spectre was the main focus of the villain aspect of the game, but in 3, Dr. Tomoki didn't have like a huge presence throughout the game until later at the end of the game, where he really, like, you just knew. Dr. Tomoki was that dude at the end of the game. Ironically, a guy who does not like story games at all. I don't like them. Ape Escape 3 actually has a really sad story, to be honest. I'm not going to spoil anything, but, you know, if you've played the game, I mean, the game is almost 20 years old. I'm going to spoil it. Dr. Tomoki did end up dying. He saved the world because he crashed his ship. He died. God damn it, he died. You'd have to play the game to, like, really get invested in it. Something about Ape Escape was always just so comforting to me. It was one of the first games I ever played after, like, Pokemon Pearl and Madden 06 or whatever. I love it. And I wish they'd bring it back. That's never happening. Yeah, they kind of just gave up on the franchise after Ape Escape 3. They had Ape Escape Move in 2010 on the PlayStation 3, the PS3 Move controllers. They had a few Japan-only games after Ape Escape Move as well. Maybe PAL only. I don't think it was only PAL. I don't know. I can't remember. But it just sucks. Franchise that a lot of people really loved just died, and it's never coming back. They just lost focus on it, I suppose. It's not like they made terrible games or anything, but all those spin-offs just weren't enough. The development of Ape Escape 4 was never announced. Nobody was ever like, hey, we're making an Ape Escape 4. At least to my knowledge, nobody ever announced the possibility of a fourth entry in the mainline series of the Ape Escape franchise. I have seen some rumors that during the PS4's lifespan, Ape Escape was maybe going to have another game, but it never happened, and I can't really find any evidence of those rumors. I can't even find the rumors anymore. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. I don't know. Maybe I'll find them after I make this video. But yeah, Ape Escape died. Like I said, they just focused too much on the spin-offs, and then people kind of just lost interest in the franchise, which sucks because it was so fun. This is an issue for a lot of series or a lot of franchises where they'll make beloved games or movies, and then they'll kind of be like, oh, we're working on something big, and then it never happens because they wasted their opportunity and now it's too late. But I would love to hear what some of your guys's like franchises that kind of just went away, you know, what are some ones that you guys miss? What do you want to see anybody bring back? Like, do you want to see more Kid Icarus? Oh my God, please. Do you want to see more Donkey Kong Country games? It's been a while. It's been a while since we got one. One of the best games of all time. I said it. I said it. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is one of the best games of all time. That's what that's Ape Escape, and I like it. Wasn't a history of Ape Escape or anything. I just kind of wanted to make a short little video while I'm working on other videos. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't, you know what to do. Press it. It's down there. Just give it a little press. Give it a little tiny little boop on the snoot. I'm not saying that. Helps me out a lot. You know, I'm just saying. I'm out.